Bathsheba's story begins quietly, far from the spotlight of power. She was the wife of Uriah the Hittite, a loyal and brave soldier in King David's army. While her name would later be remembered across generations, at this moment she was simply a woman living faithfully within her home, unaware that her life was about to change forever. One evening, while David remained in Jerusalem as his army went to battle, he walked on the roof of his palace. From there he saw Bathsheba bathing. Instead of turning away, David allowed desire to take hold of his heart. A single moment of unchecked temptation became the doorway to great sin. David sent for Bathsheba, and she was brought to the palace. The power imbalance between king and subject left her vulnerable. That night, David committed adultery with her, breaking God's command and dishonoring both Bathsheba and Uriah. Afterward, Bathsheba returned to her house, carrying the weight of what had happened. In time, she realized she was pregnant. She sent word to David, and fear now joined sin, for what had been hidden would soon be revealed. David tried to cover his wrongdoing. He called Uriah back from the battlefield, hoping he would go home and make it appear that the child was his. But Uriah's integrity stood firm. He refused comfort while his fellow soldiers remained in danger. When David's plan failed, his heart grew harder. He arranged for Uriah to be placed in the fiercest part of the battle and then abandoned. Uriah was killed, and David's sin deepened from adultery into murder. Bathsheba received the news that her husband was dead. She mourned deeply, grieving not only a fallen soldier but a faithful husband. Her tears were real, her sorrow heavy, and her future uncertain. After the time of mourning, David took Bathsheba as his wife. To the people, it may have looked like an act of kindness, but God saw the truth. The Lord was displeased with what David had done. God sent the prophet Nathan to confront David. Through a parable, Nathan revealed the king's guilt. David's heart finally broke in repentance, and he confessed his sin before the Lord. Though David was forgiven, consequences followed. The child born to Bathsheba became ill. She watched helplessly as her baby suffered, a painful reminder that sin leaves scars even when grace is given. The child died, and Bathsheba's grief returned, deeper than before. She had lost her husband and now her son. Her story seemed marked only by loss and sorrow. Yet God was not finished with Bathsheba. In time, she conceived again and gave birth to a son. David named him Solomon, and the Lord loved the child, showing that grace was stronger than failure. Solomon grew in wisdom and favor, becoming a sign of hope born from repentance. Through Bathsheba, God would continue the royal line, proving that he can bring beauty from brokenness. Bathsheba herself grew into a woman of influence and dignity. No longer silent, she later stood before King David to remind him of his promise that Solomon would reign after him. In her humility and courage, Bathsheba spoke with wisdom. Her words helped secure Solomon's throne, protecting God's plan for Israel's future. Once Solomon became king, Bathsheba was honored as queen mother. She sat at his right hand, a position of respect and authority, far removed from the shame of her past. Bathsheba's journey shows that God does not discard those touched by failure. Though she endured pain caused by sin, both hers and others, God covered her story with mercy. Her life teaches that grace does not erase the past but redeems it. What began with brokenness ended with purpose, showing God's power to restore dignity and hope. Bathsheba also became part of a greater story. Through her line came kings, and generations later, Jesus Christ himself, the ultimate proof that God transforms human failure into divine redemption. Bathsheba's story reminds us that even after great mistakes and deep sorrow, God's grace can still shine. From heartbreak to honor, her life proclaims that where sin abounds, God's grace abounds even more.